All right, what's up, guys? Tony here, and I am interviewing the one, the only Rachel Moore. Rachel, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm talking to you right now. You know,
Thank you.
yeah, we've been talking about this, for a while now. Planning it out and stuff, and it's finally
Yeah.
happening.
I know. So exciting.
Yeah, so awesome, and you're actually doing some stuff for us right now too, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I know. It's a lot of fun and I'm excited about our future together.
Yes, we can't say much right now, but there's something really cool happening very soon.
Yes. We'll clue you guys in later.
All right, so yeah, exactly. So originally, I was going to do a series where I would interview, cosplay girls, right? And then Torrance tells me about you. Now you cosplay, but you're also a lot more than that. So it kind of like overwhelmed me at first. I'm like, oh shit, this is Rachel Moore. She's like super gaming journalist, hot chick cosplayer. What the fuck am I gonna do with this? This is too much. But right now, what I'm gonna do is, since we obviously are gonna collaborate in the future, I'm just gonna stick to the cosplay stuff tonight. But I will talk to you about other things in the future. You
Okay.
know. So let's get the show on the road. All right, man. Okay, this is just an average question. Okay, because you know how a lot of these girls, like, like they're out there and stuff, and even though I know they're genuine, some people think they're not. So I want to know your geek origin story. Like, why are you a geek? How did you get into it? Tell me about all of that.
It all started basically with my dad. He made sure, because my dad never got any boys, he only got girls, and I was the firstborn. So he totally made sure that I was going to grow up just as much as a geek as he is. He got me my first system. He got me into Star Wars action figure collecting, which, as you can see, I'm still very much
Yes.
into. He got me into Star Wars, Star Trek, all that kind of stuff. That was like our father-daughter time was looking for action figures, playing video games, and watching Star Wars. And it just never stopped. But my mom is geeky as well. My dad never got into the comic books, but my mom did.
Ooh.
So then she brought that kind of stuff into my life, and I've just always been surrounded by it.
That's awesome. So you had like awesome geek, like, nurturing basically.
Yes, and they're super supportive. They love that the things that were important to us as a family and the way we spent our quality time is something I'm able to now do full time, and I've made it my career.
That is so awesome. There's so many things I could ask you just about the geekness of all. Because you know what? I'm just gonna ask it. Fuck it. Okay. Don't you feel that being into geek stuff actually makes your life a lot more like fulfilling? Like, because there's people that are just into like mundane stuff or realistic stuff. But I kind of feel that living a little bit in the fantasy side of things makes your real life a lot more rewarding. What do you think about that?
Yes. Oh, I think so, because it's just so much more fun. Because so much in the geek industry and the geek culture, video games, comic books, all that stuff, the films, they're just so fun. It's all about just having a good time, enjoying yourself. A lot of it is kind of like escapism into video games and stuff, but it's just overall just fun. That's
Yeah,
all what
exactly.
it's just all about enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah, because some people say that it's not productive, but if what's your definition of productive? If your
Yeah.
if your definition is to make your life better, then it's pretty damn productive, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's cool. All right, so let's get into the cosplay stuff. How did you start like doing cosplay? Like, what gave you the idea? All of that stuff.
I actually, back when I started cosplaying, it was very uncool.
Hmm.
Like, it wasn't something that people did now. Like, nowadays it's all, yeah, whatever. But it was my first Comic Con, and a friend of mine wanted to do the Danger Girl group, which is Danger Girl is a comic book
Oh yeah.
series. And I was like, really? We're going to cosplay? Like, aren't we a little too old for this? This doesn't make any sense. This is so stupid. But she talked me into it. And I was like, fine, I'll do this group for you. And I loved it. It was completely addictive. It's so much fun. Like, getting to dressing up for Halloween is one thing, and I've always loved dressing up in costumes. But being able to embody and work on a character that you already love just makes it so rewarding. It's amazing. From just concept to actually wearing your costume out, everything in between is like a drug.
Yeah. Which one of the girls were you? Were you Abby or Natalia? Or were
I
you
was
Sydney?
Natalia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I need to see pictures of those. But yeah, no, that's really cool. So you like embodying the character. Like when you do your cosplay, do you actually think of yourself as the character?
No, I don't do accents or anything. I just have fun with it. Like when I
Okay.
was Kratos, I had fun just running around pretending to stab people in Blades of Chaos. And I was just like doing all sorts of moves and stuff, but all just kind of fun. And when I was Nathan Drake, we went outside of the convention center to do photo shoots, so we didn't have like a bunch of people in the background. And
Hmm.
I was just like crawling into like there's all these potted plants and trees and stuff, and I was crawling in them. They actually picked me up and put me in a tree, and I was like running around or moving around in the tree, and it was just fun.
That's really
A
cool.
great time.
Sounds like you were embodying the spirit of Nathan Drake right there, though.
Yeah, I was trying. I was like one at one point. I had my legs wrapped around a branch and I was hanging down upside down trying to shoot something and
Yeah.
oh, just such a good time. It's like being a kid when you used to climb trees and you would make believe you were Superman and stuff like that. When you're cosplaying, you get to do that, but also it's so much better because I love creating the costume and then finally seeing it grow up and become something I can wear. That whole thing is just amazing.
That's was that first time you cosplay? Was that at a convention or was it something else?
Comic Con.
Okay, so that was your very first time, right? Which
Uh
Comic Con
huh.
was this?
What year was that? 2007, maybe? 8? Something like that?
Okay, so it's a. I mean, that it sounds like a long time ago, but it actually kind of isn't at the same time.
Yeah. It's
That's
like
cool.
5-ish years or something. I don't know. I don't do math.
And after that, you just like went full on, cosplaying
Yeah.
and stuff, right?
I was hooked instantly. I was just like thinking of all the different characters I could now do, and just and I took sewing lessons and all sorts of different kind of crafting lessons, and yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a good thing you bring that up. That's actually my next question. Like, when you create your costumes, like, how much prep work do you have to put into them? Like, what references do you use? Like, all the materials you put. I want to know about all of that.
Oh, so much thought and just design goes into it because first you got to figure out which character. Then tons of characters have different alternate costumes.
Hmm.
Which costumes do you want to do? Do you want to do, then there's like action figure versions. So the action figure versions are slightly different than the in-game versions. Which one of those do you want to do? And now that we have like deviant art, you can do
Yeah.
deviant art versions of characters. And so you really have to flesh it out and figure out what kind of character you want to do or what version you want to do. And then you got to start picking out how you're going to build it. Every little piece, how that's going to come into play and how it's going to work once you put it on. Because you can make a costume and it looks great, but once you put it on, you realize, oh wait, now I can't walk. I can't sit
Oh
down.
man.
Yeah, it's like with Kratos, those blades of chaos were actually chained to pieces on my arm, so I
Hmm.
could never let go of them. If I had to eat, I would have to have people feed me because I'm stuck holding these blades. And that was something I never really thought of until I put the costume on. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have to actually hold these for the full day.
Oh wow, that's crazy. So like, do you ever have to do any revisions? Like, you think something's gonna work, you try it, and then like you're immobile and you have to do it over again?
Yes, but a lot of times us cosplayers will wait until the night before and we'll be in our hotel room like finishing furiously sewing something and you just don't know until you actually walk around in it for a few hours. Then that's when seams start popping, things start breaking, things come unglued, and you've always got double-sided tape and what are not paper clips, but safety pins
Yeah.
are cosplayers' best friend. Double-sided tape for the ladies and safety pins.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you when you do this stuff? Do you do it on your own? Do you have like somebody help you out with this?
I wish I had someone to help me out, like a little cosplay group of girls that would get together and do costumes and make them together. But I just moved to LA and I don't really have anybody to do like sewing circles with. That sounds so lame, but yeah. So I have a little computer room and in there's got all my sewing desk stuff up and I just kind of sit in there and do it.
How do you figure out what materials you need for your costumes?
Oh God, that's always a pain. You just go to the fabric shop and bring a photo and just start comparing and contrasting. Like I just bought a bunch of material for Kasumi, and overnight after I bought it, I started thinking, I was like, I don't think I like that material anymore. So now tomorrow I have to go back and buy more material.
Do you have a specific shop you like to go to?
Well, since I just moved here, I found one that I've tried, so I'm going to go back to them again because they're close by. But usually I just go to Joann's, but there's not one near me now.
Yeah, and this is stuff you actually need to see with your eyes. You can't just order it online or anything like that, right?
Yeah, stuff is never what it seems like when you order it online. You get it, and it's like, oh man, this is terrible.
Hey, what do you think of people that like buy their costumes online and don't actually like make it themselves? What do you think about that?
Um,
Be honest.
I'm really torn. I would rather have a girl buy a costume, but it's a costume of a character she loves.
Yeah.
She just might not have the know-how or the time or the money to actually build it. So I'd rather her buy a costume of a character she loves than a girl build a costume or pay to build a costume of a character that she doesn't care about.
Yeah, that makes sense. How do you go like when you do female versions of male characters? What's the thought process behind that? Like, how do you figure out what's the best way to make what works on a guy work on a girl?
Right, that's my favorite. That is my favorite because I always say that anybody can look at a screenshot and replicate it, but the best part of transferring a male character to a female is I really get into it. I really dig deep into that character. Like, what are some key elements to this character that makes them who they are that I need to pull over into the female character version? Like, I have to have. And it's all about just, like, really, I guess, getting to know that character. But it's fun because it gives me more creative control.
Yeah, well,
I get to do my own spin on it rather than just a carbon copy.
Yeah, and since you actually play the games, you already know the characters inside and out. So that probably helps a lot too.
But that makes it even more fun too, though, because it's even more love for these characters.
That's awesome. Did anyone actually teach you how to do this stuff, or did you have to learn on your own?
I definitely took sewing classes, yes. I had no idea what I was doing. My sewing was atrocious. So, yeah, I did take some sewing classes.
That's cool. Yeah, do you talk to many other cosplay girls, like some of the big ones out there, like Linda Lee, Yaya Han? You talk to any of these girls?
I've never met Yaya. I've wanted to because I love her work. But I actually finally just met Vampy Bite Me a few weekends ago.
Oh,
like,
really?
we have tons of the same friends. I used to live in San Francisco until like a month ago. We lived basically in the same city area, ran with the same crowd, but never actually face-to-face met. And we met in Vegas at a wedding. Like, the complete random place to meet.
Wow. That's nuts. That's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, okay, been to a lot of cons. Which one's your favorite out of all of them?
Even out of just the non-cosplay cons?
Yeah.
E3 is by far the best. It's just amazing.
And for cosplay, which one do you like the best?
Well, for cosplay, I like Comic-Con just because there's so much cosplay there. I love seeing other costumes and other takes on different characters and stuff. I just love all the creativity that's at Comic-Con. But I actually hate going because it's so crowded. It's not a fun experience at all. But I do love WonderCon. Cosplay there is getting stronger, but I love WonderCon because that's when I can shop for my action figures and not get elbowed in the face. And I actually get one-on-one time with the artists that are there.
Yeah, that's always good. So the San Diego Comic-Con is just as crowded as the New York one. I thought it was a little bit more spacious.
It is. It's awful. It is just. I mean, there are times where you can't move. It's just people are dead stopped in the center. You can't move.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm only 5'1" and 100 pounds, and if I can't get through a crowd, it's very claustrophobic. Oh, Comic-Con is a mess, but I like all the cosplay, so.
Yeah, does that get you paranoid? Like if you're in a big crowd and you have all like your costume on and something may happen that could mess it up and stuff?
People just don't care. I had one guy when I was dressed as Baby Doll. He just like came up behind me and I had my sword on my back and he tried to pull my sword out, but instead of pulling it up, he pulled it just out, like forwards, which ripped my holster that I'd made completely by hand. Ripped it. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Why are you going to do that?" So I had to go into the bathroom, I had to fix it with all my safety pins. I was so mad. Like, who pulls on someone's costume?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy right there. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I was not a happy camper.
Oh, man. I want to know what like goes into your day right before you go to like a show, like prepping in the hotel room and stuff, or even the night before that. Like what
Ugh,
goes into all of that?
madness. Sewing like crazy, running around like trying to find on Yelp stores in San Diego that sell like last minute pieces that you forgot at home or that you didn't buy and you were just like, oh, I just need this last minute. Like my second time I did Cami, I didn't have the green paint,
Yeah,
the camo on her legs, because the year before I'd bought it from a store in San Diego because I couldn't fly with liquid latex.
yeah, that's
And I was
true.
like, I'll just get it next time when I go down there and do Cami again. I'll get it the night before. And they were sold out. And so I was totally just like, oh, well, there goes that.
Oh, that must suck.
Yeah.
I
But a
bet
lot
you.
of times, a lot of the cosplay girls will share hotel rooms, and we're all sitting in our room on the bed, just like sewing like crazy last minute.
And I noticed you did that with your hands. You can't you don't have like a portable little thing you could bring with you.
No, no,
Oh
it's all
wow.
just basic stitching
I
and
bet.
gluing. Oh my
Yeah.
God, the hot glue guns in hotel rooms are ridiculous. It's just glue madness, glitter, just everything everywhere.
How much sleep do you get, if any?
Not much. Not much. But
Yeah.
that's kind of like
Yeah.
a con. A good con means no sleep. Even E3, you really don't get a lot of sleep at E3, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah, but I
Sleeping.
guess the just the excitement of being there keeps you awake, I guess, and probably a lot of coffee too.
Yes. Yeah. I feed off of Starbucks at Comic Con.
All right, now this question, I need to know this. Okay, with some specific costumes, do you have to put them on with no underwear on? Because I'm looking at some of this, I'm like, I think she can't have her underwear on with that, you know?
No, nope. It's just you can either sew it into the outfit, like cami. Most people don't realize, but I do have pantyhose on, but they're clear. So I yeah, clear pantyhose makes no sense, but
Yeah,
they
that's
make them and they make them seamless so that I can wear something underneath and not be completely bare-assed. Even though if they are see-through,
yeah, it's kind of your
I
bare ass.
basically am. But it gives me some peace of mind when I when I wear see-through pantyhose.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, you're not too self-conscious about the way you look or anything, are you?
With Cami, I always was. I would walk around probably for the first half an hour at the con, just like with my hands behind my back, just covering up my butt. And then there just becomes a time where you just have to stop caring. And then by the end of the con, I would be like walking across the street to dinner, completely forgetting that I'm in a thong. It was just,
Yeah.
it was no big deal anymore.
People staring at you and stuff.
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm in a costume. I look ridiculous. I get
Yeah. Oh, here's
it.
another one. I've always wondered about this. Okay, because every time I go to a Comic Con and stuff, and I see girls with really cool costumes, I stop them and take a picture. They must go through this a lot. So, like, does that ever get you frustrated? Like, you're just trying to go to a place and you get stopped maybe 15 times within the span of 10 feet.
No. No, for me, I know a lot of girls that do get mad about it, or they'll ask, like, well, what outlet are you with? And if it's not one of the big titles outlets, they'll tell you no, which is, to me, I think that just defeats the whole purpose. When you're cosplaying, you're supposed to be a huge fan of what you're representing. So when someone wants to take a picture of that, it's them telling you that they like your work, they like what you did,
Yeah.
good job, and that they are a fan as well. So my big rule, and even when I'm with a big group, I will tell the group, my rule is I will never say no to a photo. I don't care if it's with an iPhone. I don't care if it's with a cheap Polaroid camera. I don't care what outlet they're with. I will never say no to a photo because this is a costume I worked really hard on and that I'm proud of, and I want to show it off. And if someone recognizes the character I am, that means they're a fan as well. And so that means we're instant friends.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've noticed that. Like a lot of people I stop, they don't really give you. Some do. They give you that kind of face, like, "Oh, why are you stopping me?" But most, like, "Yeah, go ahead, take a picture."
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's just kind of like it's when someone wants a picture of my costume, I find it honoring. It's a really big compliment.
Yeah. Do you have because for your professional photo shoots, do you have anyone you would like to work with in particular?
Um, I have well for like photographers and stuff I'd love
Yeah.
to work with. Yeah.
Like, you want to name any names?
Um, I can think of their names, but I can't think of their names all of a sudden.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna put you on the spot. Then I was just wondering if you had like one dude that I did all your photos or anything like that. Because I know some of these girls they do that.
Oh no, I will work with anybody as long as they don't ask for nudes.
Yeah,
Don't ask me that. I'll work with anybody. I love working with a bunch of different photographers because everybody has their own style and their own look. So someone might capture a costume completely different than the next guy. So I will work with everybody.
yeah. Speaking about nudes, like I've seen you do some pictures that they get pretty close. Like, do you ever feel like self conscious about that? Because there are some pictures where I'm like, she lowers that just a quarter of an inch. We're gonna see some good stuff. But yeah, how do you like? Actually, you know what? How did you get into that stuff? Did that come before the cosplay or after the cosplay? Those kind of more professional stand up, like straight up photos.
That came before the cosplay, kind of during. A friend of mine was a really well known fetish model, and I didn't want to get into that kind of stuff, but she just kind of got me into the modeling side of things. She knew a lot of photographers and had me work with some of them and stuff, and it just wasn't for me. I don't know, the modeling world and industry just wasn't my thing. So it was fun, but I just couldn't get into it. But then when I started doing cosplay and stuff, I love it.
Well, yeah, it makes more sense because that's stuff that's more close to your heart. The
Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's funny. I actually had a whole bunch of other questions for you, but my computer was being stupid. I don't have access to them, so I'm kind of winging it right now.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Let's see. You know what? I do want to ask you about this other stuff because you're a very interesting person to me now.
Thank
You
you.
you actually started with like games journalism.
Uh huh.
Like that's how you really got into this whole world, right? So I want to know how did that begin?
Yeah, I still do a lot of game journalism. That's gaming is my number one love. Cosplay, I would say, is my second love. Maybe it's more than a hobby, but it's not my career. My career is definitely in video games. That started really. I was super lucky how that kind of all came up. It was one of the modeling photos I had taken, and it was in a Tony Hawk's Underground tank top that I had made out of a T-shirt. And EGM saw it, went to, I think it was Activision, and was like, "Is this one of your girls?" And they're like, "No, we don't know who she is." And EGM then contacted me and wanted to run a feature on me when they found out that I was actually a gamer and not some booth babe or anything.
Yeah.
So they ran a feature on me. GamePro saw that. GamePro contacted me and had me write some articles for them, and then they liked me, and then they kind of brought me on board to run a website for them and do a lot of their work in their magazine and website. And then that's just kind of how it happened. And it was just amazing. I quit college for the game industry. I was going to college for forensics, and God, I couldn't pass up the opportunity.
Yeah, look where you are now. So it obviously paid off.
I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Kids stay in school, but I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah. See, this is why this interview was a little bit of a trip for me. It was like say for example, it's gonna sound really weird, but this is the way I see it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do an interview with a scientist. It's like, okay, here's an interview with Bruce Banner. I'm like, you realize he's the Hulk, right? That's actually a little bit more like like cool than the scientist stuff. Like obviously, I love the cosplay, but the game journalism thing, that's like where I'm really at, because I could ask you, I could spend all day talking about this stuff. All the
Yeah.
crazy things you obviously seen throughout the years and stuff.
Yeah, gaming is my heart. I think my love for gaming is why I do enjoy cosplaying so much. My favorite costumes I've done have been all the video game character ones. It's my passion.
Yeah, because video games are like, I mean, obviously we all love movies and comics and all that stuff, but video games, they bring everything we love about, things and just, I don't know, it's a hard thing to explain. So I guess the interactivity of it just makes it so much better. Because I'm a guy that I like my video games to be more story focused, but it brings me into the story more than any other medium could. I'm pretty sure you feel that way
Right.
too.
Oh, absolutely. In movies, I'm watching somebody else's journey. In video games, it is my journey. No matter if I'm a space pirate or if I'm a little Italian plumber, that is my story. And that's what makes it so special.
Yeah, exactly. And then with video games, obviously they're not restricted just 2 hours, so they could do other things to let you know more about the character. Kind of
Yeah.
like comic books. Comic books are really cool because they have the thing, the inner monologue of characters, what they're thinking. Video games could bring that to it too, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
Have you actually been to any other countries doing like journalism and cosplay and stuff like that?
I've always wanted to, but uh, the whole like 13-hour flight, I don't fly very well.
Yeah.
So that's always scared me off. But I would love to be asked to be a guest at another country's convention. I would really like to go to London Comic Con one of these years.
Oh, that
That's
would
like
be
my
really
main
cool.
goal is to be able to guest at London Comic Con.
Are you into anime?
No, I'm more
Really?
into like hentai,
Oh, okay. I really do like you.
but not so much anime. No,
Oh, that's interesting.
I know everybody thinks I would be, but
Oh, but I'm pretty sure you would like to go to Tokyo Game Show and stuff one day, right?
I'd love to go to Japan for different reasons than I think what most people would like to go to Japan for. But it would still be a lot of fun.
Yeah. What reasons would those be, since you say they're different?
Well, one to go to Disney over there. I'm a huge Disney freak, but also I have seen. Okay, this is gonna be really. I don't know how far we can go. I've seen this. So I have seen these little vending machines that you can buy used schoolgirl panties from.
Oh, yeah.
I want to. I want to do that so bad. I just that just blows my mind that is such a thing, and I just need to experience it.
Yeah, I actually want to do that too. It's funny hearing a girl telling me that.
I'm not into the whole like Japan culture like a lot of girls or even guys in our industry are into it. But I love the weird ass sex culture of Japan.
Yes.
They have weirdest porn and I adore it. So yeah, I'd be going for different reasons.
Oh yeah, I've seen some Japanese porn that actually makes me want to unwatch it. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's like, oh,
That's the best kind. The more disturbing, the more I love it.
really? Even when people shit in each other's mouths and stuff.
That's hilarious. That's the mentality behind that. I just want to sit them down and talk to them. Be like, why? How much are you getting paid? What do you want for the future? Do you think this is better in your future? Like, I just want to get in their minds and find out why. And where do they go when it's happening? Where does their mind go? Are they going to a happy place? What is that happy place? Do they really like it? Like, there's so many questions I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm speechless right now hearing that. The first time I saw it, I'm like, what's going on here? Why is that man doing that to that young girl? What's happening?
It's hilarious. I love the things people will do for my enjoyment.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so you have, because I was just wondering if you've been to any other countries, as I saw like a list of your upcoming, like, the shows you're going to, and they're all in California, and the only one that's like kind of off is, PAX, but that's still on the West Coast and stuff.
Yep. Yeah,
What?
I until I get like guesting positions and stuff, I'll go anywhere if someone wants me to guest. But right now, I'm just kind of doing my own thing.
Hey, it's definitely working. Hey, I
Thanks.
want to ask you about collectibles as I'm looking at all this stuff. Like, how big is your collection of, like, toys and games and all this other stuff? Like, like, just your moving, like, how did moving work for you? Because you have so much stuff.
It was over 8,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was some of
So
the first stuff you started collecting?
Star Wars action figures because that's what my dad got me into. I got to keep a lot of his stuff that he had collected. So those are like my little prized possessions because those are my dad's. That when I grew up and he trusted me with his action figures, he gave me some. So I would say my Star Wars collection is probably the biggest, and then just video game action figures are second biggest. And then I've got like horror movies and other pop culture film collectibles.
That's pretty cool. Like, do you have to go to eBay for some of this stuff? Because I imagine it's, like, really rare. Or no? You just
No,
find it?
WonderCon is like the best place. Not Comic Con, because Comic Con, try buying anything there and it's just a madhouse.
Yeah.
WonderCon is great. You just walk into a booth, they're not sold out of everything. Also, pre order items and video games, the collector's editions, those are great. I love statues in collector's editions. A lot of it's also just press items, video game press items.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with those pre-order things. So sometimes they're cool, but sometimes it's like, what the hell am I going to do with this giant box?
Yeah.
Because sometimes the box is really cool looking, but you need to get rid of it.
Yeah, I keep mine.
But yeah, they always sucker me with art books. Those are my absolute favorite. I love art
Mine
books.
too. Yes, figures and art books. I adore video game art books. Oh yeah.
Oh, when you go to Comic Con, do you go crazy at Artist Alley?
I do, but more at WonderCon because again, I get more time with them
Yeah.
because it's just not as crazy and as busy. Yeah, I have a favorite artist. Her name is Lori B, and I have like almost 12 of her pieces in my house.
Oh
I
wow.
Her style is so cute. I have a Han Solo costume I'm working on that is inspired from one of her artworks.
Oh, that's awesome. Sneak peek there, folks.
Yeah.
Rachel Ward's going to be on Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Solo.
Rachel Solo. Yeah.
Your hair, since I just thought about this now because you're talking about you're like stupid. I'm like, oh, they must think you're a stupid blonde. Is that your real hair color?
No,
Nope.
no, no. But I'm not dark brown. I was a darker blonde with blonde streaks.
Yeah.
I had the prettiest blonde highlights. Now my sister has them, and I just kind of dyed my hair the color of the highlights I had,
Yeah.
and it fits my personality so much more.
Yeah, it definitely
I'm
does
not
fit
really
you
a
more.
brunette personality.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
Nothing against brunettes.
Yeah, no,
Brunettes are
nothing
awesome.
against them. We love brunettes. We
They're
love-
smart. They're very smart.
Yeah, it's fun when you put on like wigs like that are like brunettes and stuff. You look like a completely different person.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, it's like a superhero. There's your identity right there.
Yes, yes. I hate the way I look in wigs, though. I have not found a wig I was happy with. I just think I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't like seeing myself with other hair colors. I don't know. I hate wigs, but it seems like every costume, the more and more I'm getting to only do brunettes, or like this year I'm going to be doing my first redhead and my first, I guess you would just call him whitehead because he just has white hair. So, yeah, that'll be different.
All right, there's a little clue right there. I won't pry into that. That's a little sneak peek. But I do like the redheads. That's actually my favorite hair color for women. It's like, oh, yeah, redheads, hot. So, that could be interesting.
That'll be my Kasumi from Dead or Alive.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, I'm just imagining that right now with the big boobs coming out and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be fun.
It's gonna
And
be
those are
spectacular.
natural too, aren't they? Because
Yes.
you could tell. There you go, people. Exclusive. Rachel Moore has real tits.
Yes, 100%.
All right, this one is a little bit more of a serious question. Have you ever gotten any like shit from other women for cosplaying, like these feminist chicks and stuff?
Ugh. That's
no.
the only thing that's made me want to get out of cosplaying sometimes is just the other females. Ugh, They awful. They're so mean.
You have
I
any
mean,
stories?
God, it's just, huh?
You have any like particular stories about that?
No, because it's the typical female stuff where they'll just be really mean and sarcastic.
Yeah.
So when you tell the story, it's like, oh, she was just playing. But when you're there, it's like, no, it was a really rude and mean comment. But very much like the movie Mean Girls, they say it in this sweet little syrupy voice, but it's just so condescending and so rude, and it's just terrible. They're just really catty people.
Yeah. Do you hang out with many women?
I don't.
Yeah. See, I kind of felt that about you. You hang out more with dudes, right?
Yeah, I think my brain is a guy's brain, because I just don't think like a girl, and I get a lot of shit too because a lot of my comments I make are very anti-feminists. Like the whole thing with the God of War trophy called
Bros before hoes. Oh God.
Seriously? Like, really? That's what we decided to talk shit about? That's what we decided to get pissed about? If you have a problem with that type of objectification of females, you shouldn't be playing God of War anyways. So take that shit elsewhere. I don't think that women's empowerment and equality has a place in the video game industry. And I really wish people would stop making it about that.
Yeah, like obviously we want, everybody to be treated equal, but if you want to treat them equal, you also have to, give them shit too. If you're going to give, male shit, you got to give women shit too,
Right. Well, I think that a lot of the problem is the people that are screaming wanting to be treated equally, they're the ones that are separating themselves.
Yeah.
So it's just a mess, and it's comments like that that I just get hate mail out the butt for.
Oh
Oh
man,
my god.
have you ever heard of this Anar Sarkeesian woman?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she's doing this thing called feminist frequency, and all her videos are about the inequality of women in video games and stuff. Yeah,
That's
I
just
kind of wanted your take on
ridiculous.
it, but yeah, Torrance did a whole rebuttal of her crazy videos, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure if you
gaming is not the place for that
exactly,
at all. It's ridiculous, and gaming is meant to be fun, and it's just silly to get so worked up about a female and how her role is in video games. I mean, I love the fact that everybody was preaching about how the new Lara Croft was going to be this new, like, empowering women character and stuff, but anytime she died, it was like the most brutal death in the game.
yeah, that's true.
It's just kind of just a silly little jab. I don't know.
Yeah, people were really stupid with that game. They're like, oh yeah, they're like, oh, this game's being sex. They were saying that game was sexist too. You know?
It's like PETA. I think they sit around and they nitpick every little thing in a video game to find out what they can complain about.
Yeah, like
That
yeah,
doesn't need to be in this industry. We
yeah,
got
but
enough problems as is. Just take it somewhere else.
yeah. And then of course the funny thing about Tomb Raider is the game is written by a woman.
Well, the same thing with the God of War achievement, Bros Before Hoes.
Yeah,
That's written by a woman. So,
yeah, it's silly. I don't get it.
I don't either. I don't either. It sometimes it makes me ashamed because I think that kind of attitude is a step back for women in gaming, not a step forward.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, it does bother you because you're a human, but it doesn't bother you that much because you're still doing what you're doing, which I thank you for because that's great.
Thank you. I love sexism in video games. I love toplessness in God of War. I'm upset if I see a female that's not topless. I want the biggest bouncing boobs I could ever imagine in video games. That's just because it's meant to be fun.
I love you. I just need to say that I'm the same way. Like, okay, you've played Mass Effect and Dragon Age, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it bother you see those sex scenes and they have their clothes on? It's like, really, this game's rated M, and I'm seeing this? Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
I got dragged, so I played Dragon Age 5 times, Origins on my 360, because I love Origins. What a good game, and I love Alistair. But I got it again on my PC just so I could download the nude mod. That's
There you
all I
go.
wanted it for.
Yeah, because it just makes it more realistic. Like, no one's having dry sex like that in the medieval. Why do these people have underwear on during the medieval times?
No, especially my female in Dragon Age had a strapless bra. Who's fighting dragons in a strapless bra?
Yeah, that's insane.
I can barely walk down the street wearing a strapless bra because the things don't stay up. I'm not going to fight dragons in one.
Yeah, and then you see what the CD Projekt's doing with The Witcher. It's like, okay, these guys get it. They don't give a fuck.
Witcher 2, first 5 minutes, full frontal, hello. I was like, this is my kind of game. I didn't like it after all, but wow, first 5 minutes, you got boobs ambush, let's go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's graphics for you. We need more bush in video games.
Yes. More trimmed, but trimmed bush.
Yeah, what games are you
Nope.
playing right now? Besides, actually, no, you're playing Tomb Raider right now.
Just finished Tomb Raider, and now I'm working on God of War.
Ooh, God of War. Yeah, I want to talk to you about that one. I
Okay.
just finished it last night, and
You didn't like it?
I have this interview's not about me, but yeah, I kind of have my reservation. And remember, I was one of the guys championing the fucking game. I'm like, yeah, God of War, God of War, and I played. I'm like,
I adore it. Adore it.
yeah.
Wait, is there another sex scene? Because I know near the beginning, because I haven't beaten it yet. In the beginning,
Yeah.
you get to the brothel and you see some of the most gorgeous boobs we've ever seen in video.
Yes, those were very nice.
So we see them, and then I don't want to spoil anything, but stuff happens, and it's not sex. Do we get a threesome later on in the game?
Oh man, I can't spoil that, so I can't answer.
I better, or I'm going to be tweeting Santa Monica Studios and be like, WTF, guys. Where's my Kratos threesome? He needs it because he needs the extra life bars.
Yeah, get your Twitter machine ready. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
You may you may be disappointed. I'm not saying anything. Yeah, but yeah, you know what? Yeah, the game. like as the game itself, it's good, but I have some problems with it. They changed the combat around. First 5 God of War games controlled a specific way. This one controls a lot different, and it took a while to, for me to figure it out. Luckily, I figured it out before the really hard part that all the journalists are like being pussies about. Have you heard about that? Like
No.
they're patching the game because like the part near the end is too hard, and people are having problems with it.
And they're too much of a man to bump down the difficulty, right?
Yeah, exactly.
See, I'm not a girl. Yeah, oh, jeez. I have no problem if I am playing something and it's gotten so difficult that I'm no longer enjoying myself. I will bump down the difficulty. There ain't no shame in that.
Yeah, I did that with Dragon Age. I'm like, this shit is too hard. I just want to have fun. I just drop it down to easy,
Yeah, we used to use cheat codes back when you
Yep.
could. And there was no shame in that back then. So, yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody that you had to bump it down to easy.
That's funny. The same guys that use cheat codes would be the same guys telling you, don't put it on easy. I'm like, are you serious? You just gave yourself 99 lives in this fucking game, bro. What are you doing?
I remembered, like, Grand Theft Auto 3, I had all 3 weapon cheats memorized. So I could just have whatever I needed right at the time, the lower wanted level, and the health cheat. I still remember my Sims cheat,
Really?
my money cheat in The Sims. I can't play The Sims without it.
Yeah. Oh man. We sometimes you need to. I think I did that with Command and Conquer. Like I just used to put in the code that gives you the nukes. I just kept blasting the other team with nukes and stuff.
Yeah. SimCity, I mean not SimCity, but The Sims. I definitely it's motherload, and that's my cheat code. I can buy all the cool stuff right away.
Yeah. There you go. All right, so this obviously just veered off from cosplay. I don't care because I got you here, Rachel. You're like, there's so much I can talk about. What are some of your favorite games of all time? And if you could actually answer this, what is your actual number one favorite game of all time?
I can never answer my number one because there's so many different games that are my favorite for different reasons.
Yeah.
But some of my favorites, of course, are the BioShock series, God of War, Uncharted, Silent Hill, back when Silent Hill was good, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario 3, and Eternal Darkness. Those are probably my favorite batch.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of those are like a little bit more modern games, nothing like really old, right?
Yeah, probably Super Mario 3 is the oldest. Well, and I really like Super Mario 64. I obviously really liked all the Super Mario platform games. But it's just I keep finding that when I have a favorite game that's older,
Yeah.
when they re-release it, even just for HD, it just never stands up the test of time. So those get replaced with newer games like BioShock and Uncharted and stuff. Like Beyond Good and Evil was a favorite, and I rebought the HD version and played it, and it just it didn't do anything for me like it did the first time. And so that's always really depressing.
Yeah, that's always bad. That actually happened to me, but this is more with cartoons. I'm pretty sure you watched a lot of cartoons growing up. I used to love Thundercats when I was a kid. Love Thundercats. And they were showing it again on Cartoon Network when I was 15. I'm like, oh my god, Thundercats is back. This is going to be awesome. I started watching it. I watched the intro. This is fucking amazing. So awesome. Then 10 minutes later, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
I was in shock. I'm like, this is pretty terrible. I called up my friend. I'm like, hey, dude, Thundercats kind of sucks. He's like, I know what happened. So, that kind of does happen with games. I don't you hate when it happens like your nostalgia is kind of ruined when you actually see the reality of it,
Yeah, it's like I don't like it when they reboot a game or just release it in HD because I kind of like my memories as they are. Like I'm sure if I played Eternal Darkness now, it wouldn't resonate with me like it did back then, and it's still one of my favorites.
Yeah, I haven't had that too much with games, guy, because I'm an HD nut. I just every time they put them out, I buy them. Even if
I buy them. Yeah, they look good in my collection.
Exactly. Half of mine are still in the shrink wrap, though. I buy them again. I don't get to them because I got to play the new stuff.
Same here.
Because you know how it is when you're writing about games, you can't really go back and indulge in playing old games. You got to keep playing the new stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to miss stuff that you want to play for something that you have to play.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always sad.
How did you balance that out? Like, playing games that you have to review and then playing games you want to play. Have you ever reconciled that?
I don't have a social life. so that helps.
Okay.
But usually for me, the way I would do it is I would play my review game during work hours, and then in the evening I'd play the game I wanted to, unless I was on a crazy short deadline, and then there was just like nothing but that game.
Yeah, and you don't do any other work besides gaming journalism, right?
No, that's where my income comes from.
Oh man, that's my dream right there. To be honest with you, that's got to be so awesome because a lot of you know how it is with a lot of independent guys. Like we got to work and then do this on the side, so it's kind of difficult.
Oh yeah, I'm freelance too, and freelance is rough because you never know like where that month's paycheck's going to come from, and some months are really good and some are not so good. Yeah, but I started on editorial, so I never really thought of doing video stuff, and I was only writing, and then GamePro approached me to do video for them, and I adored it. It was like the best thing ever. So now I mainly do video, but I'll still write here and there when it is requested of me.
But you still like you script your like videos though. I could tell you actually have something written for it. You're not just winging it.
No, I just wing it. I just sit in front of the camera.
It sounds really good. I'm like, oh, she must have this shit written down.
Oh, thanks. No, well, I mean, that's why a lot of my videos are long, because I ramble.
Yeah.
And so I'll just sit in front of the camera and just talk about a game, and then realize, oh, that's 13 minutes. I need to cut that down.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I need to learn that, because I'm very structured when it comes to my stuff. Like, I got to write it down, and then it's got to be presented a certain way and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I tried writing it down for a little while to try to shrink the time, and then I found out when I just had bullet points, it just sounded too scripted. It just sounded like unnatural. So now I just sit in the camera and talk to my friends.
Yeah, there you go. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, because I eventually want to move over to video, and I think because I don't want to sound like, hello, this is a review for blah, 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 blah. It has good game. I don't want to sound like that. I want to sound natural, but I also want some kind of structure there, too. But you obviously just have a natural affinity for it,
Thank you.
And if you come out with 13-minute videos, I don't think anyone's going to complain either.
I hope not.
Because those videos you post, I mean, I've been watching your videos for a bunch of years now. They're always really entertaining.
Oh, thanks.
Because that's always cool to me. It's like, because, it's funny, like, let me ask you this. What do you think of the label gamer girl? I personally don't like it. I'm like, you mean a gamer? Like, what do you think about that whole label?
It doesn't bother me. I mean, people can call me gamer girl, geek girl, girl gamer, whatever. They can call me whatever they want. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I game for myself and no one else. So label me what you will.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll stick up more for that, for you than yourself. Then, because I'm like, oh, no, she's not a gamer girl. She's like fucking gamer. That's what she is. It's just weird. It's like no one's calling me a gamer guy, But that's good. I guess once you do this for as long as you've been doing, you learn how to let shit just roll off your shoulders, right?
Oh, you got to, especially those YouTube comments, man. They just
come at
you hardcore. They're rough.
Yeah, I bet. Those guys. I don't know what's up with some of those guys. They'll start like personally attacking you and stuff.
Yeah, they were really, really bad on my Tomb Raider review because I grew up calling her Laura, and Lara is just not as easy to roll off the tongue as Laura, and they just ripped me a new one. It was ridiculous. And the funny thing is in the new game, they call her Laura in 9 out of 10 of the cutscenes. So I wasn't totally wrong. If the game says Laura half the time, then I can say Laura. But yeah, they got mad. Breathing fire mad.
Wow. It's funny you bring that up because the other day in the chat room that we have, I was ripping into the guys for calling her Laura.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys, man? It's Laura. You're right.
It sounds so close anyways. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, right. In the video game, they do call her Laura. It's, I forget her name. It's Reyes. She's the one that calls her Laura the most. I'm like, Reyes, what the hell's wrong with you? It's Laura. Like, I still get nerdy about it, but I wouldn't go on the fucking, your comment section and say that. I'll be like an asshole and go, it's Laura, and then leave, That's about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I twittered about it last night, because there's all these other names in gaming that people just get so mad over. Like, some say Ninja Gaiden, and some say Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, hey, if we're a fan of the game, who really cares what kind of accent you have or if you're pronouncing it a certain way? Just enjoy the damn game.
Yeah, and it's Ninja Gaiden. It's funny because when I was a kid, obviously I called it Ninja Gaiden, right? And I'm like, oh
Mhm.
wait, it's supposed to be Gaiden, but you're right. It's like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think it also really just depends on your dialect. Some people are just going to pronounce it just differently because of what part of the country they live in. We say Anya from Gears,
Yeah,
but I know all my friends from the UK say Anya. So it just really depends on how you pronounce things naturally.
yeah. I want to talk to you about The Walking Dead real quick because you did a
Hmm.
review of it. Okay, this proved to me that you are a little bit cold-hearted. You didn't like
I am.
Clementine? Are you
No.
serious?
Liability. No. See, I don't like children. And Clementine, she just kept judging me, and it's the end of the world. If I need to take some food out of the back of someone's truck to keep you alive, you just hush and don't judge me. She just kept judging me all the time, and she was just whiny and just, yeah, ugh, liability.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a weirdo because in real life I don't like kids either. But then in video games, if I have a kid there, I feel very protective of them and stuff.
Mhm.
Like I felt bad whenever she would judge me, like, oh, but I'm doing this for you. Why are you treating me like that, Clementine?
I
And you didn't.
just told her to be quiet. Like, you hush. When you can start feeding yourself, then you can judge me. But since you're relying on me, you hush.
You're too
I'm gonna be a
awesome.
great mom one
Yeah,
day.
right. Yeah, no bullshit, mom. I like that. And even that ending didn't do anything for you because I was there. I'm like, oh man, this is fucked up.
No, because I was a little late to the party to beat it, and everybody was like, "Oh, someone dies." And spoiler, anybody watching, spoiler. I thought it was gonna be Clementine, so I was all ready,
Yeah,
and it turned out to be our character. What is his
yeah,
name?
Lee. Yeah,
That, yeah,
yeah.
Lee. And I was disappointed. I was like, "But I thought it was gonna be Clementine." I was all excited.
Yeah, because you wanted her to die, you evil woman.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, I came late to the game too. Like, I played it, I just beat it last month. Like, I didn't know anything about the endings. I'm like, oh man, this shit just got real. Like, I've never saw that in a video game before, so I kind of came at it like that. Like, I never had to ask a little kid to kill me in a video game. This shit is crazy.
It was a nice twist. It really was. Like, what other games have ended it by killing your character?
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
a great, great twist.
But yeah, I'm just glad you liked the game because you could appreciate how like amazing it is.
Yes, it is an amazing game. I would like to see actually more choices have something to do with the ending or even the end of a chapter.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed how we were forced and funneled into the same thing every time. It was just with a different character by our side. That was a little disappointing. But overall, great narrative, great story, great characters. Loved it.
All right, people, spoilers right now because I need to ask you this. Okay, if you don't take that food, does that guy give you any shit at the end? Because remember, his whole
Yes.
beef was,
Yes, because I didn't take it. Because
okay.
Clementine, I didn't take it, but he was still mad at me because the other people in my party did take it.
Oh, okay.
Like
So,
Kenny and
yeah.
Katja, they do take it, and so he's mad at me for it. And yeah,
Okay, now I understand where you're coming from, where your choices don't really have much effect because it all happens the same way anyway. I got you. See, that's
right.
another one of those instances. If this was old school Tony, where I had time, I would have played this game over again and do different choices. I didn't have that luxury anymore, so I just assumed like, oh, I fucked up bad by stealing that food. You know?
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, even other scenes like I don't know. In I think the first episode or it was the second one, when you were in the drugstore and you had to choose between the chick that kind of had her eyes on you or the kind of nerdy tubbier guy.
Yeah, that's episode one. Yeah, yeah.
Did you save the girl or the guy?
Yeah, I thought my dick took over. I was like, no, I'm saving the girl because I might get
Yeah.
lucky.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
there.
get laid,
I was like,
but then she ended up getting shot. Right?
Yeah, that was fucked up.
There was no way to change that. That was gonna happen no matter what choices you made, no matter what dialogue decisions you did, that was going to happen. Even if you came up, because there was one of the voice options was you could say, no, it was me who did it.
Yeah.
Even if you did that, she was still going to get killed. So it was,
Oh yeah, that
really?
that does suck.
Yeah.
That kind of ruins the game a little bit. But yeah, that's disappointing. Have you ever read the comic books?
Oh my God, yes. Yes,
Awesome.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, okay.
They're one of my favorites. Then and The Watchmen and Why the Last Man are my three favorite comic series.
Why the Last Man is a book I wanted to get into for years. Everyone's telling me how awesome it is.
Do it.
I love. What was your one of your first comic books experiences? Like, what was the comic book that got you into comics?
Well, I never could get into the superheroes. Like my mom was always into Marvel.
Yeah.
I could never get into superheroes. They were just so silly for me. They were just so unbelievable that I just never could take them seriously. So I would say the comic book that got me actually sitting there and just turning pages and reading was The Watchmen.
Yeah, that's wow.
Yes. That just sucked me in. Love that. And then The Walking Dead. Shortly after that was when I got into that one.
That's a heavy book to start on. The Walking, the Watchmen. Wow, because yeah, I don't like when because I started reading. How old were you when you were reading this?
Oh man, I have no idea.
Well, I mean, were you a teenager or like a little girl?
No, I was no, because I was maybe old teenager, young adult.
Oh, okay. Now you know what, that actually makes sense. You could understand what's happening. I'm trying to imagine reading The Watchmen like when it came out in 1986, and I'm a little 6-year-old. I wouldn't understand what the hell was going on.
Yeah, no, I was definitely a little older because it was my best friend at the time got me into it.
That's awesome. What did you think of the movie adaptation?
I adored it. I know a lot of fans hated it, but I think that they did the best they could with the ending. Because if they had gone with the ending in the book, it would have made no sense to the mainstream audience, and it would have been an extra hour long to just try to describe what happened and why.
Yeah.
They did their best job with that. The characters were amazing and spot on. Just the overall feeling and environment and personality of the comics, I think were portrayed perfectly in the film, especially the version that's got the black freighter chopped up into it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the movie. My only problem was the ending, and not because they didn't have the alien. It was because because I love gore. I love that stuff. I love the fact that you saw millions of dead people just all over the city. Like that, was really unnerving. And just to see the city just a giant hole, it was like kind of it neutered that whole scene for me,
Yeah, but it was still pretty shocking when spoilers. This has been out for a while, but still.
Yeah, people get on it. Come on.
When you see Rorschach just explode into that big just smoke, blood, dust, and then it's like splattered out onto the snow and his symbol, and I think that was still pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking awesome.
He believed so much in right and wrong that he sacrificed himself because he didn't really sacrifice himself, but he couldn't turn his back on what he felt was right. And he just said, look, I can't live with this, and I'm going to walk away. And basically, if you kill me, you kill me, but I'm not going to join in on this plan to keep things quiet.
Yeah, he was definitely the most. It's funny because his mask is black and white. He was the most black and white character in that whole book. Everybody else was kind of in the gray area. Not Rorschach.
Rorschach and the Comedian are my two favorite because they're both completely brutal killers. But Rorschach has purpose. He has he's got more, I guess, emotion. And Comedian just doesn't care. He just kills anybody. Doesn't care. And I love that about both of them.
Yeah, didn't you feel a Comedian was actually saying a lot of the things that were the harsh truths? Like there's that one scene during the riots, right? And he's killing innocent people, and oh geez, the owl dude, he's like, hey, what is this? What happened to the American dream? And he's like, you're living it, man.
Yeah,
like damn, dude, he's just so blunt about things.
Mm-hmm. That's what I loved about him too. There's no bullshit.
Yeah, have you ever read The Ultimates?
No.
You need to read The Ultimates.
I've been hearing that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially, I get, this is the way it was described back then, and it's still perfect now. Imagine HBO's version of The Avengers. That's exactly what it is. It's just the Avengers story, but really fucked up.
Good. That sells me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me I need to read it.
Ultimates 1 and Ultimates 2. Don't worry about Ultimates 3 and anything beyond that. The ones by Mark Miller are the best ones. Yeah, have you ever read anything by Mark Miller, the comic book art writer?
He did. No, wait. He
did the Kick-Ass books.
I don't like Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Did you?
I was thinking Frank Miller.
No,
I haven't
he's
read
crazy.
Miller.
Frank Miller's a nut.
Yeah, but he's good.
Yes.
But no, not Mark Miller.
Yeah, Mark Miller is great. It's funny because his name looks like it's written Millar, but it's actually pronounced Miller. And he's
Oh,
like
where?
he's crazy Scottish drunk guy. He's
Uh
like,
huh.
my name is Miller, not Millar. It sounds pretentious when you say it that way. It's
That's cute.
hilarious. So yeah, check those out. I think just seeing by your personality, you will love those stories.
Sure, I will.
Really heavy. So I want to talk about the Walking Dead. What do you think of
Yeah,
the TV show?
I think it's shit.
Really?
I can't.
Whoa.
I don't like it, but I watch it because I'm a Walking Dead fan. I think they've got a lot of the characters wrong. I think that they borrow too much from the books, but then go off on their own too much. And it's like you need to pick a side. You can't, have your cake and eat it too. You're either going to be off the comics or you're going to do something on your own. Because when they just keep borrowing things, it's just getting like into this muddled mess. I don't understand most of the stuff that they have changed when I know what was actually happening in the book was a lot better, especially for the characters in the story. I think it's just a bastardization of everything the book stood for.
Wow.
But I
Okay,
still watch it.
yeah, this is why I like talking to different people because I've never heard anyone actually say that before. Now, how fresh in your mind are the actual books? How well do you remember them?
I have read them up until what? God, what are they on now?
They're past 100. I know that.
Yeah, they're like maybe
But I mean,
113.
like, how well do you have them memorized?
Oh, I have reread them. I got them for Christmas. So
Yeah.
I have reread them. I think this is now my third time.
Okay, yeah, because I'm wondering if that's the thing because I've read every book, but I've only read each one once. So I'm
Oh
pretty sure
yeah,
I've
I
forgotten
read
things.
them way back, far, far, long time ago, and then I read them again when the show was getting announced. It's already coming out again. I read them when I downloaded them on my iPad, and then I just got the compendiums for Christmas, and so I read them again.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, because I really like the show. I feel that for the most part they've kept the tone of the books. However, there are some things that I don't like. I don't like. Okay, in the books because I read them first. It looked like Andrea, right? That's how I always said
Yeah,
it. But it's Andrea, so I'm still
I thought it
trying to
was
get used to that.
Andrea.
Yeah, I thought it was Andrea too, but apparently it's Andrea. You know,
Laura.
yeah, you know how people get. They were like, it's like the Laura thing. People
Yeah.
people got on my ass like, hey Tony, your Dominican side showing. You're calling her Andrea. It's Andrea.
Michonne. Some people say Michonne. Some say Michonne. It's
Yeah. Well, that one
same character.
I've always said it Michonne, and then Robert Kirkman calls her Michonne, so I go with the guy who created her.
Yeah, I
But
say
yeah,
Michonne.
Andrea, she pisses me off because she's one
In
of
the
my
show
favorite
or the movie?
characters.
The comic or the show?
The comic book version is one of my favorite characters. The show version of her makes me want to slap this woman. She's so
Yeah.
frustrating.
Well, even Rick. Rick is. He's not nearly as strong as he is in the book. In the book, he goes through some really rough things,
Yeah,
and he breaks a little bit. But he's still really tough. He's a badass, and I think he makes all the right calls, even when he's fighting with Tyrese for a while.
yeah,
He knows what he's doing, and he's leading that group. And the reason most of them are alive are because of him. And in the show, they're just making him out to be just like this evil, mean, losing all sense of a soul, just angry, loose cannon. He's becoming Shane, and I
yeah,
hated Shane in the show. I don't even like Michonne in the show. I think she's doing it. She's probably one of the truest characters they've had so far from the show.
yeah. She's not too
The
different.
book. But missing a little bit of soul that she had in the book. And I know it took us a while in the book to get to know her, and we're kind of going through that in the show. We're starting to find out that she isn't, just an asshole. She is really nice. She just takes a while to put her walls down. But one of the things I loved about her in the book, and they're not doing it in the show, is when she would talk to herself. I thought that
Yeah,
was so telling of her character, and that the fact that they're just skipping over that frustrates me. I hate the. Oh man, his name just completely lost my mind now. The governor. Hate him in the show.
really.
He's not nearly as. He's kind of like a charming, ruthless, mean guy in the show, but in the books, he just was evil, pure 100% evil.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because I actually like the governor from the show more because in the comic books, the instant you see him, like this guy's fucking crazy. You know, this dude looked like a fucking pirate. With that, before he got the eye patch, he looked like a pirate. And in the show, I'm like, oh, what's going on with this guy? You see him slowly turning into a crazy person. So I kind of like that character development a little bit more than just the crazy guy. You know?
Yeah, but the whole thing with him and Michonne makes no sense in the show.
No, it doesn't.
The show, she so just wants him dead, but there's really no reason why. In the book, he brutally raped her over and over and over again. And so you understand where that passion to see him suffer comes from, and you want her to get to be able to feed that passion to kill him. And in the show, you're just like, why is she so hell-bent on hurting this guy? What did he really do to her? So it just doesn't make sense.
He took Andrea from her. That's what happened. You know? Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I wanted that brutality from the books. Yeah, he fucked her up, raped her and everything. And then, you know, when she gets her revenge, ooh, that was so sweet.
It is. And then even in the book, I love the two little twin boys that are just not at all in the show. Yeah. You could see how the lifestyle of the zombie apocalypse and everything completely warped their minds. I love the crazy prisoner in the book that ended up killing the two little girls.
Yeah.
There's so much missing. But the only thing I do like in the show that's a great addition is Daryl.
Yeah, he's great. Even though he's the real wild card. Like, what's going to happen with this guy? Because, you know, they're changing some stuff with the main characters, but you still have a general idea of what's going to happen with them. I don't know what's going to happen with Daryl. I trust
Daryl. It's, oh, God, what's
Merle,
his name?
his brother?
Glenn.
Oh, Glenn, yeah.
What's going on with him? And even then, Glenn, like, all of a sudden, everybody kept talking about, like, you know what the governor did to Glenn's girlfriend. What? He didn't do anything to her.
Yeah, nothing.
Everybody acts like, oh, it's a soft, touchy subject. He raped her. No, he didn't. He barely touched her. Why is everybody, like, sneaking around her like it's some quiet, secret topic?
Well, because she's not telling them. She's like, hey, guys, nothing happened, you know? Because everybody thinks she got raped. Right? Yeah, I see. Yeah, that part does annoy me.
I hate that movies where I'm like, why aren't you saying this? All the drama would be over if you just opened your mouth for 5 seconds and explained things. I hate when that happens in shows.
Yeah, they do that stuff. I hate that too. It's like, just talk, people. Just talk. Yeah. But no, then we won't have the drama.
Yeah.
All right, so actually, I think I kept you here longer than I was supposed to, but you didn't mind, did you?
No, not at all. I love talking about this stuff.
Yes, and we will be doing another interview somewhere. I don't want to say where, but it will be somewhere. It's going to be fun. So, Rachel, thank you for being with us tonight. This was awesome. Like, I knew you were cool, but, like, just talking to you and stuff, you're, like, super ultra cool right now.
Thank you.
Super ultra mega cool. There we go.
Thank you.
All right, so all right, guys. I hope you enjoy this. I know for a fact you enjoy this. Yeah, I know. Anything you want to say to the fans?
Thank you guys so much for everything, for being there, supporting, watching, viewing, subscribing. Without you guys, I would be nothing.
All right, pimp your stuff. Where can we find you?
Oh, yes. Twitter is @the_Raychul. I do a lot of YouTube stuff, and that is over at youtube.com/RachelMoore. And my website, where you can find everything Rachel, is just Rachel.com.
Awesome. I'll link all that stuff for you guys. And, all right, cool. Thank you very much, Rachel. We will talk to you next time.
Yes, thank you.
Shut the fuck up and play.com.